Hi, and welcome to this fourth episode of our all-time favorite topic, Android development. Okay, let's get started and let's make coding great once again. Step 3. Experiment with some map controls, including zoom controls, toolbar, map types, and things like that. So let's first start with the map type. So we can do something like this: set map type, and then let's have the Google Map class. Okay, so we have so many of them. Look, we have normal, satellite, hybrid, none, terrain. Okay, so the current one that we have is obviously normal. Okay, let's try the satellite one, and let's now run our app on our Android device. Okay, let's go to Al-Jalali Fort. Let's go to the location, and here's the satellite map. Okay, and you can still click on the marker and it says Al-Jalali Fort in Muscat. Okay, right, let's try another one. Let's try the hybrid one. Let's rerun our app and let's see. Okay, so let's again click on Al-Jalali Fort. Let's go to the map. Okay, and here's the hybrid mode, and you can still click on the marker as well. And let's put that back into normal. Okay, now let's have some zoom controls. Okay, so UI settings, in map dot get UI settings. Okay, UI settings dot set zoom controls enabled. Let's pass through into that. Okay, so let's rerun our app and hopefully we will see the zoom controls there. Okay, let's click again on Jalali Fort. Let's go to the map, and here we are. Can you see the zoom controls? So you can zoom in or out, in or out. Okay, please note that if you click on the marker, you get some toolbar in here. The Google Maps icon, once you click on it, you get taken to the Google Maps application. And if you click on the marker again in here, you get some pictures of Al-Jalali Fort. Okay, and obviously you can get your directions as well from here, from where you are, from your current location. And one more thing, the blue arrow in there, again you can click on it, and this will give you the directions from your current location all the way to Al-Jalali Fort. Okay, so you can click start, for example, and that will help you navigate to the Al-Jalali Fort. Okay, let's continue. And by the way, let's rename this object, for example, into something location or something like that. So let's rename this into how about location? I think that's a better name than Sydney. Okay, step 4, implement the my current location functionality. Next, let's now enable the my current location feature. Okay, so let's have in-map dot set my location enabled, and let's pass through into that, and immediately, as you can see, we have everything in red. And so, as always, let's try to correct this using Alt and Enter, and let's add the permissions check, and there we are. And let's extract all of this, and let's have the in a method, so refactor extract method enable my location. Okay, so basically to enable this feature, the my location feature, you will need at least one of these permissions, either access find location or access course location. Now, when we first used Android Studio to add Google Maps into our project, one of these permissions has been added for us in the manifest file. So if you go in here, look, there is the access find location already added for us, okay, automatically. But we still need to ask the user for permission. So basically this if statement says if the access find location and the access course location are not enabled or are not granted by the user, stop, return. It used to be like this. Yeah, stop the program. So basically what we need to do in here is to first request the missing permissions and then override this method on request permission result. Okay, so let's do that. So let's ask for the permission. So activity compact dot request permissions. As you can see, this method accepts three things: the activity, an array of permissions, and a request code in integer. So for the activity, let's have this. Okay, for the permissions, let's have new string. Okay, and then let's have in here, for example, two of them. Manifest dot permission dot access find location. We could have another one as well. So let's have manifest dot permission dot access course location. And finally, let's have the request code. So for example, we could have 1001. Okay, and so by the way, you can have this as a constant, so you can reference it later. So let's have command alt and C. Okay, let's click enter into that. And so once we request the permissions from the user using this line of code, a callback method will be automatically invoked, which is this one here. So we need to override it to handle two cases: the case in which the user has granted the requested permissions and the case in which the user has denied the request. So in here, let's try to override that method. So on request permissions result, and as you can see, we have access to three parameters or three arguments: request code, an array of permissions, an array of grant results. Okay, so let's have an if statement in here, and let's say if request code equal to our request code, this one here. Okay, and now we need to check this array. Basically, if the user has granted any permission, this will have at least one grant, right? So let's have if grant results dot length is greater than 0, which means we do have a permission granted, and grant results, for example, the first one is equal to package manager dot permission granted, okay, not denied. So let's call back this method here, enable my location. Else, let's just have a toast message saying that the necessary permissions have not been granted. Okay, so the way this works, basically, if we do have a permission granted by the user, okay, we are going to call this method again, enable my location. And so this if part right now will be skipped because one of these permissions will be granted, okay, and hence we will have this line of code executed. Okay, so let's run that and let's see what happens. And so here's our app up and running. Let's check it out. Okay, let's click on Al-Jalali Fort. Let's go into the map. And here we are. It says allow forts and castles to access this device's location. Let's first of all click deny. And let's see if we have that toast message, okay? And Yahoo, the toast message says the necessary permissions have not been granted. Okay, let's get back and let's click on the map again. And this time, let's allow the permissions, okay? Let's click on this and Yahoo, as you can see in here, we do have our my location functionality positioned there. Let's click on it and let's see what happens. Nice. So here's my current location, okay? Let's get out of this castle. Okay, so let's go into another castle. For example, let's check this one out, the Nakhal Fort. Let's click on the map and let's click the my location button. Yep, it seems to be working just fine. Fantastic. And finally, let's get out there and let's make coding great once again. Thank you and happy coding.
أتى عهدنا يا عمان اطمئني فأمجادنا صحوة لم تنم فعهد علينا يمينا أطعنا نموت ونفنى ويحيى العلم نموت ونفنى ويحيى ظلم